Welcome to All Nature Connected, a podcast created by the Forest Bathing Institute, where we explore all nature connected topics, including nature and health, nature inspired lifestyle, nature connection and forest bathing, nature preservation, and eco awareness. We hope that this podcast will inspire you to become more connected with nature and your own health and well-being. Hello everyone, this is Olga from the Forest Bathing Institute today, and we have wonderful guest, Raminta Girdvaine. And Raminta, would you like to introduce yourself? I would really love to hear you talk about your amazing journey and share a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Olga. Hi, everyone listening to us and watching us today. It's such an honor to be in your podcast. Since we met not so long time ago in Global Women Club, and we talked, I was really inspired by the things you do about this forest bathing. And I just moved to UK. It's only several months I'm here, and everything is new. I'm coming from Lithuania, from Vilnius. There, I was a transformation coach, inspirational speaker, and cognitive behavioral therapist as well. And one of my goals why I came here, I wanted to become global, and I'm really happy that I'm meeting so many amazing people from all over the world. Yeah, and I'm happy I'm here. Let's dig deeper in our topic, and I really were excited because when we met in Global Women Club, we talked about sensitivity, and it was on one of the topics we touched, and we related because what I experienced here, coming here from a small country, being a highly sensitive person, it's not so easy to adopt. But I'm doing my best, doing a lot of practices, and also, using my knowledge that I've gained through all these years, studying psychotherapy, coaching, and a lot of personal development courses.
Thank you, Raminta. And for me, it was actually what drove me to connect with you is your fearlessness or your courage, where the first thing that I heard from you was that you shared that you moved from one country to another just one day. And when I said to you, well, that must have been a big step. And you're like, well, it wasn't that scary for you. And I thought, wow, that's someone quite interesting. And we do talk a lot about this in this podcast, nature, but also rounded kind of self-care and how to stay balanced. And we are very much advocating that nature, it is a big part of your health and well-being. But if you live in a city and say you are walking in parks, you're introducing nature in your day-to-day life, which we talked a lot in other podcast episodes. But apart from it, what are other things you can do? And reading your bio, I thought you have such in-depth experience in psychology, and you've trained a lot. And I could see that more than 10 years you were studying different psychological methods and self-development. You're a coach now. So you're teaching other people while being in a different country, and you haven't arrived here that long ago. When was it? When was the?
It was middle of the February, so it's just literally several months here.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable, really, because when I met you at Global Woman networking events, it felt like you have been here for such a long time. But I'm sure there have been struggles, and I actually wanted to maybe talk a little bit about that, but maybe starting with what supports you in everyday life? Because you do look like a very balanced person, and I wouldn't probably know many people who would have courage to just move from one country to another to follow their passion, but also to stay so grounded and present in this whole experience. So I'm very curious, from your expertise as having studied psychology and also your personal experience, could you share with us a few tips on how you manage to stay grounded in your busy schedule?
It's not easy. It's not easy to stay grounded as being sensitive person, as being empath, and being, very creative person. I tend to, go everywhere and be everywhere, and it's literally not easy. And knowing that, in UK there are so many people, especially in London. There are always, different energies, different people, a lot of stuff happening. And for me, first, because before moving to UK, for half a year, I kept coming back. Every month, I kept coming back for events, for specific things. And it was not so easy for me back then, because I felt like my energy is drained. I get lost. I don't know what I was doing anymore. Yeah, and also financially, money is gone. Yeah, it felt like, the city, the country is taking everything from me. But that sense was only because at that time I couldn't handle all that energies, all that differences, all that amount of people. But till I moved to UK, I worked on my strength. I built my strength. So I did a lot of energetic work. I went to healing sessions. I also worked on my body. I really understood that making such a huge shift in my life, because it was the first time I'm moving out of my country. So it's a huge shift. And I know that my body and all my systems will experience a lot of stress. So the first thing, I really took care of my body. And when moving to UK, almost every day I started going to gym to build my muscles, to build my strength, because otherwise I understood I just won't handle everything what's going on. And of course, this physical activity helps me a lot of emotionally, because everything is connected, our body, minds, and emotions. So that is a simple thing that I think everyone should start when building resilience, just to take care of your body, sleep well, eat well, and do exercising. And talking about nature, it's also one of the things that I really enjoy being here, because there are a lot of parks. Forests. And the first thing actually I do when I wake up, I go outside, because I have some nice, beautiful parks just nearby, and I just go for a walk. And this is how I start my day. For me, being in touch with the nature, listening to the sounds, watching trees, just being in the present, this is the thing that helps me grounded. And what I used to do in Lithuania, I didn't do it yet in UK, but walking on the grass barefoot, it also always helps me grounded. And also water, if I have a chance to put my arms somewhere, somewhere cold, somewhere in the lake or the river, it also really helps us stay grounded. If I don't have a chance to do that in nature, I just do it in my shower. And shower is number one also thing that helps to go from one state to another state. So these are very, very simple things that I do. Of course, meditations, having some rituals, like, for example, for me, it's having a cup of tea in the morning and writing my diary. It's my mind hygiene, where I write everything I want, without any restrictions, and this is how I let everything what's maybe left from yesterday or something happened at night, all the stuff from my subconscious, I just put it there, and yeah, and then I'm eating my breakfast and I'm ready for the day. And that's it. If I feel, at the daytime that I also need more grounding, I certainly have to go away from people to find the place where I can be alone. It can be even the toilet if there's no other place, and just to spend a few minutes with some breathing practices or other energetic practices, just to gather myself, because it's very, very easy to get lost in such a busy place. And busy life, we all live quite busy lives, and we have to put a lot of effort just to stop sometimes and to be in the present, to remind ourselves that we are living here and now, but not tomorrow or not yesterday. I think it's everything you do, Olga, and all your institute is doing.
Oh, thank you, Raminta. It's just so beautiful and grounded to hear what you're saying, because I normally have in this podcast, I have people who are already practicing nature connection, practicing something related to nature or ecology. But really, for us all, when it comes down to what is really helpful, it comes down to something very simple as taking a few breaths, connecting with nature in the morning, having your bare skin, maybe hands or feet on the ground. I think what we are trying to do at the Institute, especially with our current awareness drawn to introducing nature in cities, is that we all can do that. You don't have to have special training. Of course, you are trained in psychology, but not so much in nature connection therapies. But at the same time, you found that nature, alongside other things like routine and taking care of your body, which we talked about in our other series, even amongst us practitioners who practice nature connection, forest bathing therapy, how it is important to take care of our bodies. And then things that you can do in a city, living a busy life, how you don't have to escape in the country, because I do feel that I do come across many people, and I struggle with it myself, as you know. We talked about it at the Global Women meeting, being oversensitive, kind of not adapting too well to the city life. When your sensitivity grows, especially if you train like a forest bathing coach, it can become a burden in a way. But there are, as you're saying, you are very sensitive, and then you found for yourself things to strengthen you, to ground you, and to keep you in that balanced state while being able to live a happy life in a very busy city. And we are not saying that everyone should move to the countryside. That's absolutely not what the Institute's about. It's more about how can you bring nature and mindfulness into your day-to-day life to help you with certain aspects of the life that could be challenging. So I'm so glad that you shared it. And interestingly, Lithuania has come to to my mind many times these days, because we are going to the Chelsea Flower Show tomorrow, because we're going to be talking about forest bathing there. We were invited by the Muscular Dystrophy UK charity, and they will have a project called Forest Bathing Garden, and it is by Ula Maria Studio. She's this lady, Ula Maria, she is Lithuanian. So for me, it was actually really interesting
Super.
to read about her love for nature coming from Lithuania. Can you talk a little bit about that? Maybe you grew up somewhere as well, and where nature was inspiring, because I do hear quite a lot of Lithuanian people have special affinity for nature.
Yeah, we have so much green spaces and so much forests. not so many people living, only several millions. So it's much more living only in London, you know, than in the whole of country. And we have a lot of nice places. That's why many of us grew up, you know, seeing nature, being able to be in the nature. I lived already in the city when I was born, when I grew up, but on summers I always went to my grandparents where they lived in the village, and I saw all the beauty of living in the village and all the nature that. And there I really, at that time, of course, I didn't understand what is energy, what's the difference, you know, all this stuff. But I really could say that it's different being in the city and being surrounded in nature. Every time I came to the countryside, to my village, I felt like a huge shift. I felt very, very grounded, very, very present. And instantly happy. This is what all memories are about these times. And even later, when I moved from the smaller city that I was living to Vilnius, to the capital, which is much bigger city, still there are so many forests and parks and beautiful green areas. So always when I needed to refresh my mind or even to do a creative job, just go to the forest, go for a walk, and everything comes naturally to the places the way it should be, because city itself, you know, creates so much intensity. We gather so many thoughts, not necessarily from ourselves, but from other people. So sometimes it's too tense, and we really need these, you know, runaways to the forest. And if we have this opportunity, just going out of our house, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And yes, being from this country, Lithuania, I'm really happy that since the early days I already had this connection with nature. So that's a blessing, I'd say.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think if you ever had the connection to nature, it kind of, you can come back to it later, because the National Trust, I believe it was National Trust, did a survey. And I think it was something like connect to nature before 11 and a half, because they saw that if you connect to nature before the age of 12, then you are likely to stay connected to nature. Maybe not in your 20s, when many of us are more busy with work, and you know, we really, most of us then connect to nature in our 30s, or later in life when we have maybe kids, families, we go out in nature with them, but we're still more likely to connect with nature than afterwards, when we have had the experience of connecting with nature in our childhood. So it is so important, and it is lovely that you spent your childhood in this, you know, we call them dachas in Russia. Many people know, I speak to people here, they know two Russian words, babushka and dacha. Dacha is like the countryside house. Yeah, that's, but it's always, everyone has dacha, and we go for 3 months. We have school holidays. We go there. We spend this whole time in a very rustic setting, surrounded with woods and fields. There is no heating. You have to like put logs into the burner so that you have hot water. There is often problems with electricity, of course, no Wi-Fi, and compostable loo, but we never minded that. We just enjoyed the nature. And yeah, and it actually, I feel that here in the UK, even though we do have actually quite small percentage of the land is wood, but we are very lucky in London and the surrounding areas to have lots of forests and parks. So it's really great to hear you making use of those spaces and really sometimes we don't appreciate what we have on our doorstep,
Yeah.
which I feel you do. So just to finish off, Raminta, thank you very much for your today's interview. What would
you.
be your 3 tips, 3 giveaways for people to stay grounded in a busy city life?
Well, while you were talking, I remembered what I didn't mention yet. I'm studying also integrative body and movement therapy. So it's also related with nature, and it's also related with our body. I'd suggest people not to forget about the importance of touch. It means touching ourselves, just reminding, we have the form. When we tend, to melt in this busy life, touch ourselves, touch the other, just not to forget to hug people. This is how, we stay grounded, and we get love, and we share love. And also being in nature, touch everything, to feel all these sensations. It really helps to feel alive. So this is really important tip. Another tip is about movement. You can do it at home, but it's even better if you can combine it with nature. Just go for a walk, just move, because moving our bodies moves our energies, and everything moves. And we are, we are born to move, not to be stagnant. And in nature, everything moves. So move. It also helps you, to get out from your head and from whatever it's happening. And the third tip is I don't know, be happy. Just be happy. It's your choice. It's your choice, and you can decide, what emotion, what state you want to be into. If you want to be creative and go all over the place, you can be so. But if you have an intention to be grounded, just be grounded, and it really helps. Just have your focus. I want to be grounded, and all the information, all people, all maybe meditations or tools will come to help you to do that. Just have the intention for that. Yeah, that's it.
Beautiful tips. I feel I need to write it down for myself, because I really appreciated you mentioning the touch, because we talk about it in our forest bathing. The touch helps us release oxytocin, of course, which is the hormone that is the love hormone, and that mothers create with babies when they first have that embrace, and lovers, for instance, or you can create that sense of love and connection even with nature. When you touch it, you would also be releasing that sense of oxytocin. So it is such a good one, and I feel that sometimes when I'm in my head, just kind of light touch to the body really helps. So thank you for sharing that. I feel I'll rewatch and write them down for myself. So thanks a lot. It was a pleasure having you today. And
Me as well. Thank you.
Maybe if you just want to share the last thing about where people can find more about you, because I'm sure people would love to connect.
You can check my social media like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Also, I have a web page. You can also find me here. Or just write me a message, and I would lovely reply you, and we maybe can continue our conversations.
Thank you very much, Raminta. It was lovely having you. And thank you, everyone, for listening to today's podcast. It was Olga today with Raminta. And thank you very much, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.